Well, hello, and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot. This is the tarot reading for serious tarot people. If you're thinking at unicorns or rainbows, or it doesn't make any difference. If that's the way you're thinking, this is not for you. This is for serious people in serious times. We are, from a historic point of view, maybe even hysteric as I'm thinking about it. You look past the last 7,000 years, which is really all we have to choose from in terms of human history. We know there are other things that existed prior to that. You got past the Ice Age, you got past the Younger Dryas, and there were some, apparently, based on what we see of the remains, some phenomenal civilizations, and we don't know anything about them. So we look at the last 6,000 or 7,000 years to make determinations, and at no point in that 6,000 to 7,000 years were we in a position to destroy ourselves, and apparently willing to do so. The air is poisoned, the water is poisoned, the food is poisoned, the governments are poisoned, society is poisoned. People are telling you, the ones who set up the system, you're going to have nothing and be happy. Robots, they're on the verge of taking over every single job on the planet, no exceptions. We got this artificial intelligence scam, I believe it's a scam, breathing down our back. One of the things, too, that stands out for me is the amount of speed and pressure on all of us. It's not simply, well, Mark Twain defined it about 150 years ago very clearly. He says, I love progress, I hate change. We've been experiencing change. It's been forced on us one way or another. And it's been very often very subtle. For example, take a look at cars. Have you priced cars lately? Since 2020, the beginning of the experiment, remember that time? All of a sudden the pressure's really kind of been grinding down on us. Cars, the prices have at least increased by 50%, some cases even more. It makes buying cars more expensive. It means that when you buy used cars, they're more expensive. Looks like parts are drying up. They can't seem to get parts, even with some of the more modern models. It's like they're pushing us to a point where you just can't afford an automobile. You can't maintain it, which means you're not going to have any, which means their 15-minute cities are much closer than you realize. And that is the kind of energy that has been applied to us for the last 20 years. It's not a question of us voting. It's not a question of us deciding. Like, for example, when they started to popularize gasoline cars back in the late 1890s, people said, wow, this is kind of scary. It's different than horses, but it's kind of interesting too. And people accepted the technology. They grabbed for the technology. We're not grabbing for any of this. It's being pushed on us. It's being forced on us. We're manipulated. So that's why this is such a serious time, and that's why I do the tarot. Because your ability to manifest is the true power you have as a human being. Even the robots can't compete with that. That is our saving grace, the ability for you to create pictures in between your ears. Now, with all the technology, we're seeing that people are becoming dumber. We're seeing that people rely on their computers or tech to think for them. Bad, because I think ultimately that's what artificial intelligence is going to be. They got so much data, so much information coming. Every time you get on the cell phone, every time you get on your computer, every time you do most anything, they're recording the data. Doesn't have to make sense out of it. They're just recording it. And then they take algorithms and kind of combine these things to a point where you think this technology is thinking like a human being, like you do. And the proof is they cannot manifest. Not yet, anyway. So that's your power, and that's what I want you to emphasize. I want you to build those muscles, right, so that you can think for yourself. You can see your future. By the way, quick little definition here. Tarot is a science of potential. It doesn't predict anything. You have to get involved. You have to connect with the frequency. I have done tarot for over 20 years, astrology, numerology for over 50. Yes, that's 50. Astrology, numerology are predictive because they operate with cycles, known cycles. We know when the new moon is coming. We know when the full moon is coming, as an example. So you can make predictions based on somebody's chart. You can't do that with tarot because you are the differentiation. Your ability to manifest is what keeps us ahead of robots, and it also gives you the opportunity to choose for yourself, which means tarot is the science of potential, your potential. So let's get to it. Middle card is where we go. It's the Oracle card. Today it's message in a bottle. The number up top on the left is 15. 1 means you're starting new. 5 means you're looking for change. The 1 and 5 together means that you are looking to harmonize this idea. It's one of the early stages of manifesting. So what you are doing right now is deciding, okay, I don't like what's going on right now. All of the things that you just mentioned, Steve, are absolutely true. I have to do something to be able to mitigate this fascist attack on human beings. So the card is a message in a bottle. And for those unfamiliar with the concept, before we had all this technology, a fun thing that people would do from time to time is, let's say somebody in Europe put in a message of whatever sort, put it in a bottle, corked the bottle, and tossed it in the ocean. And wherever it would land, that person would get a message. If they understood the language, if they somehow communicated that information on the piece of paper in the bottle, it would be kind of a nice thing. And they may make another message and send it back. Not that it would get to the person, but it didn't make any difference. It was this piece of information, this insight, from a very unexpected source. And maybe you don't even know what that source is. Not important. You got the message. And so that's what this idea is. A message in a bottle. You are going to be receiving messages throughout this year especially. See, last year was just kind of a setup. I've heard somebody describe it this way. Last year was kind of like in World War II when the Americans had landed on the beaches of Normandy. It wasn't a war. It was just our beginning participation in the war. That's where we are right now. The election put us on the beaches of Normandy. Now the battle begins. I have a lot of hope, not much faith. The system is too vile, too corrupt, too big, and I don't have faith in the people involved. Yeah, I voted for Trump, but I was crossing my fingers. He says the right things. Let's see if he'll do the right things. And then you see the people that he puts with him and some of the dumbass things that they're saying. I'm going, this is not what I voted for. And apparently, a lot of people in America feel the same way. So I am giving them a test period. This new administration, good, bad, or indifferent, has between now and July 4, 2026, about a year and a half from now, July 4, 2026. Why? That's the 250th birthday of the United States of America. July 4th, 2026. You got that year and a half, guys. Let's see if you give a damn about the middle class. Let's see if you care about the poor and the average person struggling like hell against odds that they cannot overcome. Do you care? Do all those words that you said, do they matter? I don't give a damn about the rich. I'm not a capitalist. Historically, capitalism always leads to fascism and Marxism. Always. Because the guys who get the money, they think they're boss. They think they're smarter. Some of them even think they're God. Can't go anywhere with that. And that's not what America was based on. So they have, for me, between now and July 4th, 2026, let's see what you do. Can you stand and deliver? If not, I personally will fight against you with every ounce of my breath because I want a better America for everybody. Not a perfect America. You ain't going to get that. People involved. But you know what I mean. That 1776 spirit has to rise again. And I'll do whatever I can to encourage that. And that's really what the message in the bottle is. It's a kind of a cosmic texting you're going to be getting as this new administration tries to do something. Whatever they're going to end up doing, we'll see. I'm not going to count my chickens. Between now and July 4th, 2026, I'll make up my mind. During that time, you will be getting messages in a bottle, so to speak, this cosmic texting. It's going to be very helpful in helping you to make decisions. Here's the meme for today. Study your patterns. Study your patterns. The ultimate wisdom that you have comes from knowing your whys. Why do you feel it? Why do you do it? Why do you repeat it? Why? Knowing your whys gives you clarity about who you are. And when you know who you are, you become powerful, dangerous, unstoppable. Basically, you become a threat to those in power. Good luck. So let's get to the reading. All the way to the left, we have the Three of Swords. Swords are thoughts, ideas. It could be good thoughts, bad thoughts, stinking thinking, doesn't make any difference. But apparently, looking at the image here on the card with three swords through the heart, that's stinking thinking. You've been lied to. Man, you have been lied to. Okay? That being the case, you now are totally aware. You got the heartache, you got the sorrow. You feel betrayed. It's what you were told, you were lied to. That's what those three swords are. So that means you got to go to the next card, and that is the Hangman. Got to flip the script. Got to think for yourself. Know your whys. That's your ultimate wisdom. And if you can't ask why without getting in trouble, you know you're in a shit show. You know that you do not live in a democracy. And a lot of people cannot even ask why. It's real obvious. We live in a fascist state. Democracy is gone in America. That's why I'm giving the new administration between now and July 4th, 2026. You guys better come deliver. If not, we will deliver you right out of office. One way or another. Remember how the country started. Alrighty, so we go to the next card. There's the Three of Wands. Wands are positivity, excitement, joy, enthusiasm. Three of Wands, like this guy here, you're trying to see a positive picture of your future. You're trying to get enthusiastic. You're trying to find some joy. You're trying to find some purpose, some meaning. You want to be plugged into a life that means something to you on your terms. And the final card is the Queen of Wands. Again, Wands, positivity, joy, and excitement, gratitude. And the Queen of Wands, very vibrant, wholehearted. No half-ass for her. It's all or nothing. She has a lot of self-confidence because she has a lot of enthusiasm because in the end, she knows her whys. Why do you feel it? Why do you do it? Why do you repeat it? She knows. She knows. And because of that, she has this positivity, enthusiasm, and connection to life. That's what you're looking for, and you're going to get cosmic texts really strongly over the next year and a half to July 4, 2026. Look for that cosmic message in a bottle. It's going to open up your mind, open up your life, if you let it. Remember, tarot is the science of potential. It's up to you. That's the tarot reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another manifested tarot. Between now and the next time you and I do this together, peace and blessings.